So we definitely don't need them. And the thing with the tugboats, if they come too close, they kind of mess up the nice white ship side. So we try to keep them as far away as possible.
Next question? Yes, sir.
This is a question for the chief engineer. Are all your watch-keeping engineers?
Question about salaries. You have so many different types of people, including yourselves, and there are the stewards, there are the servers, the outside deck people. It's a wonderful life. It looks like they get, I guess, a couple of months, they can live for free. But what kind of money do they make to attract the people, especially from countries like the Philippines and other places like that?
Well, obviously, excuse me. Obviously, we're not going to discuss salaries because that's confidential information. What I can tell you is that they can get paid a very competitive salary for the industry, and of course, as you mentioned, all expenses are paid. The travel to and from home are paid. On board, everything is taken care of. Even their own private laundry, we don't even have to pay for that. They do our laundry for us. So pretty much you can focus on the job and you can do quite well. You can save and you can do some good things.
Where do they live? What about their living?
Well, we have the living quarters. We have people living on deck number 4, deck number 5, deck number 3, deck number 2, deck number 11.
And I think I can add for deck and engine, our crew salaries are negotiated by the Norwegian Seafarers Union, so there's nothing under the table going on.
Yeah, we're actually part of the what we call the CBA, which is a collective bargaining agreement, which is a combination of the ILO, the International Labour Organization, ITF, International Transport Federation, which all, I'm sure some of you will understand, they are under the UN auspices.
Right here.
You know, backstage, whatever. Do you do that in the middle of the night? Do you do that? I mean, you're only in port for a few hours, don't you? You know, everything seems, to your credit and everybody else's, everything seems to run so fluidly. You've got to have to get together with people and talk to them, so.
I talk a lot, as you can see, Captain's looking at me. Now, we communicate all the time. You know, we try to, of course we have to have meetings. You need those meetings to update and department heads where we're going, because, you know, things change all the time. You know, there's not one day that's the same for any of us. But we talk a lot, and I think that's very important. We don't rely, you know, on emails and memos, you know, because that really doesn't get to the point. We need action, and so we do a lot of talking. We talk all of this time, just as with Jill and the other department heads. We're constantly talking all the time for the day and so forth. So a lot of communication, but minimize meetings because only when they need to be.
Yes, ma'am.
Jill, I have a question for you. How do you choose the people who do the shows? Where do they stay? Do they get on and off at different places, or do they stay the whole trip?
Good question. We actually have somebody in head office in Miami who chooses the acts. We have a booker in Miami. And the guest entertainers' agent sends their videos. They also go out and audition to us. Yes, some of them get on and off at different ports. Some of them stay on for the whole time for a full contract, which could be anywhere between 4 and 6 months. Any more questions? Well, next question. Yes, sir.
What's the closest security situation that you've been in while on the high seas?
Well, I don't really know what you mean with the closest security issue, but as you know, we had to cancel Ashdod. That was a pure security measure as well. So, but at least it works out good because we still managed to see all the places. We stayed 2 days in Haifa instead, and this is something that we don't take a decision on board here. Sometimes we have maybe more information than head office have, so we communicate with them, and then we try to work out something that's as good for you as possible. And I think this time it went quite well.
It did. Thank you, Captain. Yes, sir.
Hi, I understand the Jade's undergoing a refit. How long and how extensive is the refit going to be?
Well, I planned to leave the day before, so I think I leave it to you guys.
Yes, it's true, yes. Chief and I are staying.
It's a pretty small dry docking we are doing for 10 days. And we're gonna do the outside of the ship, of course. New restaurant, maybe you can...
Yeah, we're gonna have the churrascaria, the same as we have in the Epic, or rodizio, the same in Brazil. And of course we'll be doing a lot of, what we call soft furnishing, a lot of carpeting, a lot of reupholstering and so on. But most of it will be on the technical side. We're also going to be doing a lot of rewiring in the behind the scenes for wireless as well. So a lot of computerized systems being updated and so forth. So I don't know the dollars amount. I haven't seen yet.
But it's big. Just to fix Chief's engines costs a lot.
Okay, we have another question here. Yes, ma'am.
The upcoming election in Egypt, do they have more Egyptian trips planned, or will you cancel them if you have to? The people booked, do they have to be aware that you might have to cancel them the way you did Ashdod?
As it, maybe I can start. As it looks now, for the next winter, that's 2012-13, as well as 13-14, we are scheduled to go back to Israel. So that's the plan right now. If something comes up, well, then we just have to look into and see what to do. We were planning to do Israel and Egypt for this whole season as well, but due to the situation, they changed it.
Yes, so we changed it and now we're just doing the 4. So next cruise we don't go to Israel, we do the Greek Isles and Izmir and Egypt. But it's not just Egypt. Anywhere in the world, wherever we go, if we're being monitored closely monitored all the time when it comes to safety and what's going on over there. So, and we have a full security department who works very closely with various agencies, and of course, just wherever we are in the world, whether it's Egypt, whether it's Civita Vecchia, whatever, if they have any inkling or that safety will be compromised, then alternative arrangements are made. Safety is priority number 1. It doesn't matter what it is or where we are, it's number 1.
Question right down front. Yes, sir.
How prepared is the Norwegian Jade for medical emergencies?
That's a good question. We had 2 doctors on board and we had three nurses. So, well, most of the emergencies we can take care of here. Or let's say all the emergencies we do take care of. If it's really needed and if possible, we can try to get guests ashore for further treatment, but let's say right where we are now, there is not really anything close by where you can stop. So that's why we have the medical team we have on board. We have full facilities downstairs. We seldom more than 1 or 2 days away from a bigger hospital.
Next question. Yes, ma'am.
They really keep you running, Jill. Last week, poor Jill, she hit her leg, so.
I had heard that, maybe fable, that if someone goes overboard accidentally, that you can't get the ship turned around fast enough to find them hardly. Is that true? Or do we send out a little boat? Do we just say, hasta la vista, baby?
Hasta la vista, baby. That's the easiest way doing it. I think the most important thing, if anyone goes overboard, is if we see it and if we report it. If we know it immediately, someone see it, they let us know. The last time it happened here was in February, almost 2 years ago, and it took, I think it was about 21 minutes from when the person went overboard until he was back on the ship again.
Wow.
We were doing full speed at that time. So that everything was exactly by the book, the way it was supposed to be done. But the main thing is that we have to get the report immediately when it happens. If you wait 3-4 hours or the next day, I'm sorry, then we go for hasta la vista.
About how often does it happen?
Very, very seldom.
It's practically impossible for accidentally to fall off a ship. If you fall off a ship, you're doing something very silly or you want it to fall off. So it's practically impossible. The way ships are built today, around, if you fall or what have you, it seems practically impossible. But it does, it's very rare, but it does happen. And of course with staterooms with balconies is a challenge, because when it's a public space, hopefully somebody else can see. If it's in a private balcony of a suite or a room, then it's more challenging, as the captain is saying, for us to get that message, which is crucial, the information, yeah. So.
I just worry because she could breathe.
No.
Next question. You have to be pretty brave to jump off the side of a moving ship. Next question. Yes.
Have you all always worked in the cruise industry, or did you come from other sectors?
I've been 11 years with Norwegians now, and before that I did the merchant marine.
I started off in merchant marine, switching over to passenger ferries. Since '98, I'm on cruise ships.
My background was all hotel and restaurant. Obviously, we don't have academies like they do for navigation or technical, for the cruise ship management. Well, not on my day anyway. So I've been with Norwegian this is my 25th year, and before that I was 3 years with the Cunard on the old QE2.
Next question. Yes, sir.
I was very young when I started.
Just what does the staff captain do for a living?
Well, he's American, so that probably tells you a little bit. Yeah, Staff Captain David, he's around somewhere, probably doing something for his living. I think he's down doing cabin inspections right now. We have 3 departments on board. We have hotel, with the hotel director as the boss. Then we have the engine department, where chief engineer is the boss. And then we have the deck department, and staff captain is in charge of the deck department. He's also my right hand, so when I go golfing or something else happens, he's the one taking over. And on deck is not only maintenance and painting, we have the medical falls under deck, the environmental side, even the IT side, the finance, they are all under deck today. So he have quite a lot to look after. Right now he's probably even more busy packing because he's leaving in Civitavecchia.
Yes, ma'am.
We sailed on the QE2. I'm sorry, United States. But we would have liked the other. But we sailed on the United States, and we noticed that your library has the information about it and that NCL owns it. Do you guys own it? What's the plans for it? Where is it? Stuff like that.
It's in San Francisco, I think, or
Philadelphia now. He was in Virginia, moved to Philadelphia.
I think we own it, yes. But the plans, well, I doubt we will see it back in service.
Yes, we do own it. When we bought, some of you might remember American Classic voyages, the predecessor to Norwegian America out of Hawaii. They went under, we bought them, and that was part of the company. They owned the United States. So we actually, that came all together at that time.
We actually have another OMB as well, that's the SS Independence. That one is in maybe San Francisco.
Probably, yes.
This lady wants me to ask a question. She's Italian, so she's asking me to ask it for you. The question is the bridge window on deck number 11. For the guests, they really enjoy looking into the window and seeing you all drive the ship, navigate the ship.
It's nice for you.
Do you enjoy being looked at?
That's a good question. That's why I don't really drive myself. It's not so bad, especially when we have new officers. They feel a little bit strange having people watching them all the time, but after a while you kind of get used to it. As the only thing is, don't knock on the window. Then you feel like you're in a zoo.
And we do look better in the afternoon than in the morning.
And sometimes I sit in the driving seat when people are looking, and then they think I'm driving, but I'm not. It kind of scares me.
Jill,
I have done it before. Not driven the ship, but sat there. Yes, ma'am.
We know there's romance between crew members. Can they have their wedding ceremonies on board? And how do you cater for couples?
Wedding ceremonies on board. For crew?
Yeah.
Our crew get married on board. Yeah, I mean, they can arrange it the same as we would do with guests. You know, we do have, there's a wedding program we have back in head office, and people can request through it and make arrangements.
No.
We no longer, the captain no longer marries anyone, right?
well, the good thing if you're getting married on board, it's not really like 100% legal, but that might make it much easier after 10 years.
That's why you arrange it through our program, and they bring a public notary on board, and it's and it's done while we're in port. Actually, I think it's great because you know, we've done some in obviously in the US. We also done some in Europe, and you know, we did one time in Livorno, and they came on board and they got married, and they married them, and the friends came in, and then we had a small reception, and then the friends left, and they carried on with their honeymoon. It was very nice. We've also had couples do it by themselves with nobody else at all. Just, you know, they have it, you know, they tape it and everything, and then we show up. They ask for us to be witnesses. So yeah.
Why don't you tell them how you got married on board?
It wasn't a legal marriage. They all say, you know, once you're 12 miles off the coast of home, you are single. Right?
No comments on that one.
So how many times did you do that?
Well, you work it out, it's been 28 years. Many times.
Next question? No more questions?
Here we have one. Don't be shy.
All right.
There are no stupid questions around here, so I only get them from Armando every day.
I was just wondering, maybe I shouldn't ask this question, but
Please go ahead.
if a cruise ship has ever sunk, and what are the biggest, maybe, I hope no one's already asked this, but what are the biggest threats to cruise ships sinking? Like what are the most likely causes?
Well, to sink something, you probably have to hit something very, very hard. And like Titanic with an iceberg, but we don't really have them around here. And the navigational waters here are actually quite good, so you have to be really, really close to something to hit it.
Yes, ma'am.
Pilots come on, but where do they get off? How do they do that? I mean, all of a sudden, they can't ride the cruise, so how do they get off, and what arrangements do you make?
They actually use the same door down on deck 4 where you go in and out in ports. So usually when we're in port, they come on board when we still have the gangway, and then when we're outside, we put out a small ladder, then the pilot boat come up and they go off that way. Normally it's not really an issue, but if you remember when we came through the Strait of Messina a week ago, where there were some issues because of the strong winds, so it was really hard to get him both on and off. For tomorrow, Messina looks really good, so I hope we don't face the same problems tomorrow.
Any more questions? Yes, sir.
What's the depth?
What's the depth of the water? Depth. The depth of the water.
Oh, the water, or how deep the ship is. Here is probably around 2,000 meters. That's like 5,000–6,000 feet. It's a lot here in this part of the Mediterranean.
Any more questions? Yes, sir. Kind of fish are in this area of the Mediterranean.
Tuna,
Dolphins,
sharks,
and then all the sashimi in the jasmine, but I guess that doesn't count. We don't see much wildlife here. We more or less only see dolphins. Very, very seldom we see whales. Sometimes, but not often.
Next question? No more? All right. You have one more.
These gentlemen are here, who's running the boat?
The nurses. Ladies in charge, you know they're doing a good job.
That's right. Who runs this?
We have, at sea, there's always 3 guys up on the bridge. We have the navigation, or the officer in charge, you have a second officer helping out, and then there's a quartermaster as well. The only question I've been waiting for today is, why did we leave so late from Port Said? Usually we are 10 minutes late and people are already screaming. Now we were 3 hours late and no one is interested.
It was Egypt time.
And they're still not interested.
You told us. You told us.
Yeah. No, if you don't answer, I won't tell you.
Why were we 3 hours late leaving Port Said?
You know that Port Said is also the entrance for the Suez Canal. So that's there's a lot of ship going north and south. And mainly they try to do the southbound ships at night, and then the northbounds during daytime. Because the channel is so narrow, so they can't meet there. Last time we were there, the southbound convoy left at midnight. There were only 3 huge container ships. But yes, a few days ago, we had 16 ships and the convoy started at 9 p.m. already. So that means when they start to come in, we have to wait for all the 16 to pass us before we can leave. Maybe if all of you would have been back in time at 8:30.
All right, if we have any more questions, we'll take a couple more. If not, no? Well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, everyone.